good now? Alright, welcome to the Stories from the Misguided. What's your name and who are we with?
My name is Vint Casey Jr.
Yes, sir. For those that don't know, where are you from?
Originally, Japan.
Japan? Wow.
I was born in Japan.
That's a different upbringing. How did Pops move to Japan?
Because my father met my mother in Japan.
How do you meet her?
Through the mess hall. She's Japanese.
Oh, okay.
So I'm half Japanese.
Oh, that's
half
great.
black, half Japanese.
So you can speak both languages. You speak Mandarin and stuff like that?
My mother didn't want us to speak Japanese so much. She wanted us to speak English more.
Oh, okay. When did you move out here to the States?
I came to the States back in 63 or 64.
What was it like growing up in 63, 64, coming out here?
Believe me, it's not good.
It was different?
Yes.
Compared to the Japan life and coming to America, what was the differences and the changes that you would see culturally?
Racism.
Racism wasn't that big a thing in Japan?
Nope.
They loved black folks as much as...
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So in the 60s, you were seeing things like the Rodney King riots, and you would see things like hanging and stuff. I know, and stuff like that. And what was something that changed you catastrophically during that time?
Being called the N-word.
You had never been called the N-word?
Nope. When I said it to my father, he slapped the taste out of my mouth and pulled me out of that school and sent me to another school.
What area did you move into when you came out here?
We was in Maine at first, then we went to Massachusetts where my brother was born. My sister was born in Maine. And we left Massachusetts and came to Texas in '66.
Around the same time when, what was it, a year later, Martin Luther King died? Or Malcolm X died?
Martin Luther King died.
In 67, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. So, were any of these people, like any of the revolutionists out here, did you look up to them while being in Japan, or did you have different heroes in your timing of growing up?
Well, I admired the Black Panther. And I admired Malcolm X because of what I was. But I had a hard time anyway because I was mixed. So I had to fight everybody.
Yeah. So that was one of your problems being in school in Japan and being in school in America was being mixed and not being accepted as much, right?
Right. So I wasn't accepted nowhere here until I got to the 70s, and still that was kind of bad.
What was the different things that you would have to deal with being just biracial and people looking at you differently?
I was smarter. See, they taught us a little different in Japan.
Yes, sir.
Japan, education was pretty good.
Yes, sir. So, did you end up having any kids? Or no, let's keep going. Let's go on. How was your military life? You got into the military around what age?
I got in at 19 years old.
At 19. So a little bit fresh out of high school.
Well, I got out of high school at 17.
So you spent 2 years hanging out and then
I went to Prairie View.
Oh, okay. What made you leave Prairie View?
Messing with the girls.
I understand. Too much fun, huh? Especially moving
I
from...
blew my scholarship.
Ooh, what scholarship did you have?
Engineering.
Wow, so you were smart. That's great. And you went from Massachusetts to Prairie View, right?
Well, Massachusetts to Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's good. That's a dope brain. So after that, going to the military, name some stories that you could say were fun times or good times being with your pals in the military?
I don't know. Some of it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
But we did have some good times, but I don't want to say what we did.
Yeah, I understand. Had too much fun. But are you still in contact with some of those guys from back in that time, or?
I lost contact. They split us up.
Yeah. What war were you in?
I wasn't in a war.
Y'all were just stationed in certain areas, taking over.
Yeah, but we were there before the war.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we were doing some stuff that we wasn't supposed to do.
Yes, sir. What got you into playing the guitar or playing instruments?
That was when I was 13 years old, and I slipped on a pickle jar, which my sister and brother were hunting crawfish. And it cut my leg open. I had 72 stitches.
Ooh.
So I couldn't play outside in the summertime. So I played like I was playing the guitar on a tennis racket.
Oh, okay.
And then I had made so much money cutting grass that I went and bought my own bass. I bought it at the Globe store, Globe department store, and I bought my amplifier from H&H.
Okay. H&H. That's crazy. I don't think that still around anymore, huh? Is H&H still around? I think it's...
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't bought anything through them.
Around what age was that?
13.
13? 13 years old. Coming to them when you were coming out here or when you were still in Japan?
No, 13 when I played the bass.
I know.
But when I came to America, I was 7 years old.
Okay, so okay. I'm a little off, my bad. I apologize. Who was your musical influences?
Oh, Stanley Clarke, Louis Johnson, Larry Graham. There's so many of them. I took their styles and started playing.
You said you liked Larry Graham and these other players. What was one song that you could say influenced you as a kid? Like the most influential song that you had while growing up?
Thank you for letting me be myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What was it like captivating the audience? When you were in front of those people, how did it feel?
It felt great. I mean, you know, at first I had like stage fright, but then someone told me not to look at the audience, just to look in the air and just feel what they're feeling when I'm playing. And that worked out pretty well.
How was it your first concert, your first ever show? How many people, I mean, you don't have to tell me how many people were there, but how did it feel being in front of those people after the applause?
Ooh, man, that was a good feeling. That was played at the Verizon here in Houston, opened up for Ted Nugent. And he came and visited us in our dressing room.
That's good, that's good. Out of all of the performances that you had in your time of performing, which is your most, like, the one that you can remember like it's yesterday?
God, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember most of them because I love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially ones where the women were throwing their...
Had good times, huh? Yeah, being a rock star was a lot different. Did you ever travel to the LA, Santa Monica area where they were doing a lot of the rock events?
No, I stayed in the Houston area.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that was great. That's what I was going to get to next. Did you ever go on tour with anybody?
No, I didn't get a chance because Freddie Everett ended up getting Lou Gehrig's disease and she died.
Yeah, that was a great performer. How was it like working with Freddie Everett?
It was great. He's the one that came and got me. He saw me play in an R&B band, and him and his manager came to me and asked, "Can I play rock?" I said, "Yeah, I can play rock." He said, "How would you like to play up and down West Town and do concerts?" And I said, "Yeah, I like doing that. How much do it pay?"
How much were y'all getting paid to start up? Like when y'all were young, doing your
I was
concerts?
getting paid, like, at that time, it was $100 or more.
Well, that's good money for the 80s, you know? 90s, you know? That's good.
That was 90s, 2000.
90s, 2000s? That's cool.
It got even more when we play concerts. We get about 300.
Oh, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. They were saying Freddie Everett was going to be the next up and coming, like the Jimmys or the Black.
He loved Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
So he loved to play him. He was a great guitarist. we had that chemistry. And that's probably why he wanted me to be in the band.
What were some of the big artists that you did go around or were around during the time that are big now?
Oh, what? Talking about like Ted Nugent, REO Speedwagon, Eddie Money, Foghat, Steppenwolf. I could keep going on. Oh, I remember. I think we got turned down by Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz didn't want us to do it because we sounded too much like him. So he didn't want us to open up for him.
He didn't want y'all to do nothing with him because of that?
Because you know, we captured the audience when we did Foghat and all the others. I mean, we had people cutting their lighters on and everything, and they had to calm the crowd down.
Yeah, that's the Lenny movement. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I did security for a Lenny Kravitz concert in LA, and they went wild. He ran through the crowd, had them jumping. So that's the same effect y'all would have.
Yep.
I get it. That's amazing. That's
if you
amazing.
saw the video, then you know.
Yeah. What song were you most known for?
Don't You Worry.
Don't You Worry? Will you play that for us later on?
That's hard to do without him.
Without Frankie? Oh, man. What was the biggest crowd you performed in front of?
Ooh, man. I think all of them were big. They weren't small. Cynthia Woods was rather enticing. Oh, excuse me. Because they went from one stage to the other stage and saw us at a smaller stage, and they came out there and then came to the nightclub we were playing at that night. So they said, yeah, we was at the concert and they wanted to see us play at the nightclub.
That's dope. How did it feel having record execs calling y'all's phone and stuff like that? At that moment in time of your life, how was the feeling when y'all were getting those calls or getting those messages from people saying that y'all were going to be the next big thing?
Well, Sony Records supposed to call us and do the contract, but we couldn't fulfill it because Freddie died.
Yeah.
So Sony contract.
But what was the feeling of those moments? Like, were you calling your mom? Were you calling your family? Were you?
Oh man, my mom didn't care too much of that. She didn't want me to play music.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Your family didn't like the fact that you were playing music?
Well, my father was dead already. My mother's Japanese, so
that's not in the culture.
Not into it. And my sister, she didn't mind. My brother didn't either. But you know, as far as my mom, she said, why you play nightclub?
Yeah, back in that time, everybody was supposed to get out, get your job, or go to the military, stick to it. Yeah, I know, but that's the thoughts of everything. They don't want you in the nightlife. They think there's something always going on in the nightlife and bad things.
You
but
actually doing my day job.
Yeah.
I was Harris County Deputy Clerk.
Wow. So during the daytime.
For 24 years.
Wow. How was it working in that?
I retired from there.
You retired from there?
Yeah.
Wow. How was it working through Harris County?
It was kind of rough. It's racist too.
Yeah.
So don't think it ain't.
So you're saying the people inside who you were working with, there would be racism inside?
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them. You get a mixture.
So there'll be times where y'all would go to scenes or stuff like that, and you would see the racial profiling in between?
Oh, they do a lot of racial profiling. They do a lot of it as far as your work ethics. But they couldn't say too much about me because I looked at 200 pages a minute. I've done mostly everything for Harris County except for criminal court.
That's good. So you worked in a lot of different departments. Name some things that...
No, just one department.
In just one
department? I was in
department?
the QC department.
So could you give some people some knowledge on what that was, the background of the job?
What I was doing stuff like marriage license, liquor license, real property, county civil court, miscellaneous personal records, personal records. I dealt with everything, like I said, except for criminal court.
So you've had times where people have came in there and tried to get licenses for things, and and they were denied based off
marriage
of
license.
Yeah.
My sister came up there and said she wanted to get married. I said, okay. She said, will you sign my license? I said, sure. I signed it. She's got it now today.
Oh, that's dope. That's good. That's good. So during those moments when people were trying to get like liquor licenses for their clubs or for their businesses and stuff, they'd be profiled in those moments?
Yeah, they'll run an investigation on them. Make sure they're not close to like schools or churches or whatever like that, so there won't be so many complaints in commissioner's court. I even done commissioner's court, and commissioner's court, they're kind of rough and dirty too, because a lot of them like to buy property when they know the property is going to be up for sale and to make money.
Yeah. So they'll buy something that's 40, 30,000, knowing that the big contractors want to buy it out to build on it.
They'll pay them like $1 million or whatever for that property. Wow. Now they have access to these records because the county has records of everything. Now don't think you own anything. Buying a house doesn't mean you own it because you still pay taxes on it. Yeah. And if you die, somebody else is going to have it and pay taxes on it.
Yeah. That is the truth. I'm not going to lie, they tried to take away a lot of people's stuff if you don't pay the tax on it.
Yeah,
they could have bought it years ago. They'll get rid of it.
Yeah, put it up for auction.
Yes, sir. After everything that happened with Freddie, and the Sony Records deal going down the drain, other things going down the drain, did any other artists reach out to you guys to help y'all like build back up?
Well, no. The artists that I know that are around now, these are guys that haven't went nowhere. They haven't flourished. They tell me what to do, and I say, man, you ain't even been there. You ain't even been in a recording studio. So, they think they're
top-notch guys. But
I said, man, you haven't even reached that pinnacle. I said, I may have reached it, and you might be jealous of that. Right. So that's what I see.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's what I've seen in the world is that through the success of your own success, people try to belittle what you succeeded in because they're in the same lane as you. And they might be doing it, but you might have not gotten to the obstacles I've been through and the things that I've done. So that's terrible. With everything going on in the world, is there any advice you can give to the world?
Keep going. Don't stop. You can do anything. You just got to put your mind to it.
And our channel is about the youth. And we're trying to give advice to the youth. Is there any guidance or advice you can give to the youth?
To the youth, man, do music because that's a universal language. Okay, and man, when you do that, I know you like hip hop and all that, but hip hop, you're putting a lot of vulgar stuff up in there, a lot of vulgar attitudes, and we don't need that. Okay, we don't see R&B flourish like it used to. So. I would like to see that happen.
Yes, sir. They were just saying that recently on one of the channels that I look into that there's no more bodies of work. A lot of people are putting out singles that sound good, but album bodies of work, there's no more of that. Is there any album that you could look back on or that you could tell us that this was your favorite album or something that captivated you from top to bottom?
Well, a lot of them were my favorite albums because I understand the music and what they put in as far as what's going on. Prince was a very good artist. Yeah. And I also like Bootsy.
Bootsy Collins? Yes, sir.
And, these guys put a lot into their music and established something. And a lot of these others, they don't put that much music. They either buy the music from somebody else and then incorporate it on their own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's no more originality. That's what you're trying to tell us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was great having this conversation with you. This is Stories from the Misguided. If you could say that for me on the camera. Welcome to the Stories from the Misguided.
Welcome to the Stories of the Misguided.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Now we're going to have you do the playing your guitar. Yes, sir.
Good. I want you to play a couple songs for us.
Play a couple songs for us.
Cover, what is it called?